All right, so I hope we got this set up. Let's see. Let's just load it real fast. That did that list seem a little bit fast to you guys? Let's do that again. What? Uh, that seemed a little bit faster. All right, let's see. Wait, what just happened there? No, 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 no. I gotta do that again. Hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up. Hold up. No, no, no. It's in. Is it in memory? No, no, it's not. I'm resetting. No, no. There's no way that just happened. That's like a 7-second load time. Like, no. Let me just run it from here. And then we'll see what. What the? No way did it run. No, 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 no. Holy crap, dude. I can't even.
Hey everybody, Jeff from Programmer vs. World, and if you could see from the reaction shot that I know I put in the front from earlier, we're going to look at something, a new version of SuperBasic today. You could probably see it in the upper left corner. It says 6.10.2025 1.1. So this is a new release that a couple of the guys on the SuperBasic channel and on the Discord have been hacking on and working on. And I was going to go through the features that I thought was cool, so I just preloaded it. And then I happened to notice that he dropped a note in the channel about how a user named Sibby had done some directory and file work to make the file and disk more efficient. And I just completely glossed over that and started playing with it. And right after I listed one of my test programs, I'm like, this seems a little bit faster. And then what you saw there was actually my reaction on camera of running it to see if it made the sprites load any faster. And it did. So what I want to start off with is just first, let's look at the performance differences between the releases. And in order to do this, I need to go back and flip some dip switches on the back of here and put it back in plain old vanilla mode. And I want to show you a before and after video of what it looked like. Most of you have been watching me hack on this tutorial for a long time, so that you know that whenever I run it, there's like a 4 or 7 second lag where I usually just talk through it and then the game will load and we'll talk about it a little bit. And that lag is pretty much gone now. But let's take a look at what it looked like before. And I'll play this video for you guys. So basically earlier I took a screenshot of before. You can see here that I'm on the vanilla kernel. I'm on 1.4.25. I'm in MMU mode here. And when I run the game, you'll see that this loading sprite screen comes up and we're at like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It takes about 6 seconds for it to load. And that's pretty normal. Now here's what it looks like on the MMU kernel after this SuperBasic release. You can see it up there, 6.10.2025. Here we go. Ready? See how fast I can type this. And 1, 2. And that's where I'm like, okay, that's really, really fast. I mean, that's blazing fast for SuperBasic. And now we're up right here. You'll see in the upper left corner, I'm in the 2 by kernel, which is the license one that you pay extra money for and you load it into a bank. For most people that don't know, the Foenix machine can have up to 4 different FPGA cores loaded in at any time, and there's dip switches and you can flip back and forth. And this is like the fastest one that currently exists. This is the one I was in on that shot, by the way. And we'll just run the card game again. And this time we're like it's basically under a second. It takes longer to print that text on the screen than it does for the sprites to load. I really need to take that out now because most people wouldn't notice the difference. Actually, let's do that. Let's run, stop, clean up. That's something I haven't done. I've been playing with this all day, by the way, and I still haven't. Like we said, loading sprites, that's line 12. Let's take out line 12 and let's take out line 14 and run it. Yeah, nobody would notice that difference. It took longer to draw the text on the screen than it did to render the card. So that's how fast the sprites loaded. That's oh, 3, 4 maybe. I've never gotten this straight yet. Okay, anyway, that's one of the many things that I wanted to talk to you about. Well, let me tell you about another feature real fast while I'm here. And we're going to have to look at the splash screen to do this. And I'm on a Windows machine over here, which means I don't have Telestream ScreenFlow, which is going to be a disadvantage. I can't blow stuff really big for you. But you'll notice, oh, I got to pretend the screen's over here. Can I reverse my camera and make that work? I probably can. Over here, you'll notice up above that it says K2. That's brand new, right? So it knows that I'm on a K2 piece of hardware. Also up here, you'll see that it says hardware number 2010013 OC2X. It knows which FPA core is being loaded. That's the 2x core. And you can see that SuperBasic version has changed. But basically, these screens now change based on what machine you're on, which is really cool. And I'll show you that the hardware, the core knows about itself when I shut it off here. I'm going to put the dip switches back into regular mode. Make sure I got both of them in the dark. It's kind of hard to tell. We're going to turn this on and go into some wacky mode that I don't have loaded out for you guys. All right, so now we see over there, we will see that it's in the 1 by kernel. It's in the standard core, sorry, not kernel, core, where it's in MMU mode. I got to wait for my monitor again. Now we're in like the plain vanilla mode you get out of the box. You'll see the hardware is 1.4 million, 0140000 core 01X. So, but we're on the same version, the new version of SuperBasic, right? So let's look at our same thing. We'll look at a list here. Oops. Let's load something first. Otherwise, that would be the fastest list we've ever seen. Sorry, I had a slip there. I mean, that's a little bit slower list, you can tell. But when we run it, you'll see something clear here, right? 2, it loaded in under 2 seconds. That's incredibly good. And this may be suffering from the same problem. We might need to take lines 12 and 14 out of this too, and then run it again. That's pretty good. Most users won't notice the difference in that. Yeah, they just won't. So you figure from the time that I run there, right? To the time I would actually, let's clear that. We'll just clean up. I'll run my cleanup function real fast. Whoops. What I meant to do was dir. All right, so let's then you put a space there. So that's about the same amount of time, right? It took about 2 seconds to unzip the PGZ and put it on the screen. So is there really a difference? Let's do that one more time. We'll do it one more time from scratch. 1, 2, about 2 seconds. Okay. We'll kill that. It should reset. And then we'll say run card game 3.fast. Now, a lot of this is loading. So until we see the text on the screen, it's not in the B load. So we count from there. 1, 2, it's about 2 seconds there too. So that means in theory, why is it shifted down though? You guys see that? I think it shifted down. But in theory, that means that the SuperBasic version and the C version and LLV and MOS run about the same speed, which is crazy. Like I can't even fathom how crazy that is. But let's get on to some other features. And I'm going to put so I don't forget, I'm going to put my machine back in the kernel that I paid for, because why not? I love it. All right. And by the way, if you go on the Discord and you go in the SuperBasic channel, they've posted what each one of these banners look like for each release. They're all really cool. I'm kind of jealous though, because I think the Junior 2 has a better looking banner than everybody. But I'm happy with the K2. And it's really going to be cool that it's up there now. So let's get to the real features that were added to SuperBasic, and probably one of the most prominent ones is the ability all these different functions that were added to print, input, and the new screen command, which allow you to do character manipulation on any part of the screen that you want. So if you imagine the screen divided across 80 columns and 60 rows, you can now put text anywhere you want to, all in one command. You don't have to first peek and poke to get there and then print. And for instance, if we wanted to put something at 20.20, we could just say print at 2020, hello world, right? And at that specific location, it would print hello world. Not only that, but when it's done, it went back to the next line underneath it. So that means we can do more text oriented things. We can also say like, let's say input at 2120 in aerosol data, right? And it'll actually put it right there. So input at also takes those commands as well. If we wanted to find, we can also use like calculations, even though we have to be careful about how we do this. We can say like print at the number of columns divided by 2 at 80 divided by 2. Whoops, where did my divide by go? There you go. Minus what's hello exclamation point, 6 characters, 3. And then we could say hello, right? And we've just put hello in the middle of the screen. Now, let's go back up here, and I'm going to put some text deliberately in a certain place. Print at 2020. This is some text. All right. So not only can we write at those locations and we can put input blocks at those locations, but if we need to pull text out of those locations, we can also do that too. And the new release gives us 2 ways to do that. We can use the screen command to ask what character is at 2020, and it's going to come back and say character 84, which is what the T would be. But if we say, no, I want you to give me the actual character that's at 2020, it'll say T, because that's the start of this is some text. Right? And we have rows are first, columns are second. So if we say 21, we should get H, and we could do that. So we can actually read characters directly off the screen as well and store them into variables. This gives us the ability to do all kinds of crazy stuff, text-based games. I can't wait to try to build like NetHack or some kind of cellular automata using text characters now, because it's totally possible. Actually, I was just thinking about it earlier about how to make that work. But it's going to be difficult because we have another problem with arrays, but they're working on that. Anyway, that's basically the new print stuff. It's also important to note before I leave this out that before, when we wanted to print things on the same line, like we could do crazy stuff like this and get one output. Now, it's kind of known that if you just did this way, you would also get the same result. Also, if you did something like this, you would get the same result. If you wanted to put a tab there, you could do something like this and get this, So they've drastically improved print syntactically so that it has a lot more sugar involved in it now too. I think one of his examples, he did this, like 2 + 2 equals, and then you could just say 2 + 2, and that's pretty powerful. That's something we didn't have before, and that's going to make, once again, text-based games a lot more fun. So we covered print, we covered screen. Those are the primary biggest ones. So yeah, I mean, that's basically the new release in a nutshell. We got new print at, input at, and screen functionality for doing text-based stuff. We got new banners which will tell you not only what version of hardware you're running on visually, even though you kind of already know that, but it helps when you're making videos and stuff like this. But it'll also tell you like what hardware core you're running on. In this case, you can see F2X. And, it's just lightning day and night difference in terms of speed. Like I can't even fathom. I don't even have anything that can really stress it other than that card game. And I can tell you now that this game itself, because of everything involved in it, including the loading of the sprites and the fact that there's mouse selection, 7, 8, 9 jack. Let's take this guy. It caused it to lag just enough that after, making a small change and running it, and they're making a small change and running it, making a small change and running it, the speed waiting 7 seconds each time just got annoying. And that's pretty much why it was ported to LOV and MOS, is so that I wouldn't have to do that anymore. And now it's just so fast, man. It's just so ridiculously fast. But anyway, those are the new features. If you want to know more, there's a SuperBasic channel in the Foenix Discord. You can join there, check out that channel. They do constant updates there, or you can check out their GitHub. But last but not least, a gigantic shout out to these two guys for putting in the work here, because this is, I've been in this every day since I've received my unit. And I don't remember how many months ago that was. And working in SuperBasic is already a lot of fun, but eventually when you start B-loading a lot of sprites or start doing background images and that kind of stuff, it just slows down and it just becomes this grind of having to wait for it to load. And that's the thing that hurts you the most in SuperBasic development, especially if you're in the box the whole time. It could be worse out of it because then you got to wait for the transfer, and now it's just, I can't explain to you how much faster this is. You put a new kernel to boot on this thing, and it's like, this is the type of out of the box development environment that you want. Like, it's amazingly good. And those guys deserve a lot of props for that. But I'm going to get out of here. I've wasted enough of your time. Those are the new features. SuperBasic 6.10.25 1.1 release. You can find it on the Discord channel. You guys have a good one. I'm going to go back to hacking on this. Actually, I'm going to start porting stuff that I already had in LOV and MOS over here now because it runs fast enough. But peace out, guys.